Hello, good morning, students. Myself PK Singh, your science teacher, Oriental Public Kishanganj. Students, today we'll start the second chapter of class 7th science, that is nutrition in animal. Students, we have discussed many things in last video, that is mode of nutrition, heterotropic, autotropic nutrition, and today we'll discuss the mode of nutrition in animal only, and that is heterotropic nutrition. And this heterotropic nutrition is of four main types. These are holozoic nutrition, saprozoic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, symbiotic nutrition, that is also known as mutualism. And after that one, students, we are going to discuss now the holozoic mode of nutrition. And holozoic mode of nutrition, it is, these are also of few types, and these are herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and detrivores. Altogether, they are of four types. Herbivores, student, you know from the very much earlier time that those organisms which feed on herbs, that means on plants or plant part, is called herbivores, like grasshopper, caterpillar, fishes, few fishes, cow, buffalo, horse, sheep, goats. These are some example of herbivores. And next is carnivores. To carnivores, student, these are flesh eating animals. Example, lion, tiger, fox, polar bear, these are carnivores. They feed on other animals only. That's why they are carnivores. And next one is omnivores. So these are the animals which eat both plant and other animals like cockroach, rat, bear, crows, human. The human eat plant food also, as well as the meat and egg of animals. That's why human is the example of omnivores. Next one is detrivores. Student, they feed on dead and decaying organism. Example of detrivores are like earthworms. They feed on the dead and decaying organic food. Now, student will discuss the different steps in the process of holozoic nutrition, and first of all, we'll discuss the nutrition in amoeba. And nutrition in amoeba. Students, you know, amoeba is a single-celled organic organism found in pond water. Single-cell organism is also known as unicellular animal. So the cell has a cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. The cytoplasm has many bubble-like vacuoles. The cell has finger-like projection called pseudopodia. It is also known as false feet, which helps it to move and capture food. When amoeba comes near the food particles, pseudopodia is produced around the food particle. The food particle is trapped in a food vacuole, and in the food vacuole, the food is digested by digestive enzyme and absorbed. The undigested waste is then sent out by the vacuole. Thus, student, in a single cell amoeba, all the digestion process like ingestion, digestion, absorption, and excretion, assimilation, egestion, all the steps of digestion takes place in a single cell. Now, students, will discuss the next, that is nutrition in human being. So first of all, student will understand the main part of the alimentary canal are buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. And there are also some glands which helps in the digestion. And these main glands are salivary glands, liver, pancreas. The alimentary canal and the glands together is called the digestive system. Yes, student, now we'll discuss how this food from mouth it passes up to anus. First of all, the entry point of the alimentary canal is called mouth, and food is digested through the mouth. The food is put into the mouth with the help of hand, and this process, student, is called ingestion. And Our mouth is consist of teeth, tongue, and palate. And students, when we put into our mouth, we start breaking it down into smaller pieces with the help of teeth. So student, there are different type of teeth in our mouth, and these, I think first is incisor, which are also known as biting teeth. Canine, it is also known as tearing teeth. Premolar, it is used to chew the food. And finally the molar, which grind the food into very small particles. And then it moves further, it is get mixed with the help of tongue. At the same time, actually in our mouth there is one gland, salivary gland, and this salivary gland secretes saliva, and this saliva contains salivary amylase, and this salivary amylase help to digest the starch into glucose. And after this, with the help of tongue, it is being mixed up, and after that it is being pushed into the esophagus, and then it moves further into the esophagus. And esophagus, student, is the name of food pipe, and the food pipe passes along the neck and chest. The swallowed food is pushed down by the movement of the walls of the food pipe, which is also known as peristaltic movement. With the help of this movement, it passes the food into the stomach. And then, student, in our stomach, the stomach secretes digestive juices, and these digestive juices have three components. These are hydrochloric acid, mucus, and pepsin. And the digestive juice breaks down protein and hydrochloric acid make the medium acidic and kills bacteria which enters along with the food. And third component, that is mucus. Mucus protects the wall of the stomach from the acids. And after this, student, with the help of peristaltic movement, the food moves to the small intestine. And students, the small intestine is a long coiled tube, and it receives the secretion from the liver and pancreas. It also secretes digestive juices. The liver is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice, which is stored in the gallbladder, and it breaks down fats. The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which breaks down carbohydrate and protein. And the essential juice completes the digestion, or intestinal juice completes the digestion of starch into glucose, fats into fatty acid and glycerol, and protein into amino acid. And students, we also know that the complete digestion takes place in the small intestine. And after complete digestion, we will discuss absorption of digested food in the small intestine. Students, the digested food is absorbed by the wall of the small intestine, and this process is called absorption. The small intestine has several finger-like projections. These are called villi, having blood vessels, and the villi helps in increase the surface area for absorption. And the absorbed material are carried by the blood to the different parts of the body and used by the body, and this is called assimilation. The undigested food then passes into the large intestine. Now students, will discuss the large intestine. In the large intestine, water and some salts are absorbed. The remaining wastage then passes to the rectum and remains there as feces. It is removed through the anus from time to time, and this process is called egestion. Now students, will discuss the intracellular and extracellular digestion. Students, digestion takes place in two different manners, that is intracellular and extracellular digestion. Students, digestion in lower animals is generally intracellular, as food particles directly enter the cell and inside the food vacuole of the cell get digested by the enzyme of lysosome. For example, amoeba, paramecium, hydra, white blood cells, macrophages, these are intracellular. But in the animal having organs and organ system, digestion is extracellular. Example, it occurs in the human gut, lumen of alimentary canal. In them, various digestive enzymes and other secretions such as saliva, mucus, bile, etc. are mixed at different levels, such as saliva is the in the mouth, gastric juice in the stomach, bile and pancreatic juice in the duodenum, and membrane enzyme in ileum, and so on. In this way, students, the digestion are of two types, intracellular and extracellular. Now, students, will discuss the digestive system for ruminants. Students, cows and sheep do not secrete the cellulase enzyme for digesting cellulose present in the cell wall of plant cells, and instead cows and sheep have symbiotic or mutualistic bacteria that produce cellulase enzyme for them. In return, the bacteria get other digestive product and suitable conditions for growth. The bacteria live in the specific part of the specialized stomach of cows and sheep called the rumen. Such rumen containing animals are called ruminant. And other example of ruminants are buffalo, goat, deer, and giraffe and camel. Students, grass eating animals like cows and buffalo quickly swallow the grass and store it in a separate part of the stomach called rumen. Here the food is partly digested and is called cud. Then the cud is brought back to the mouth in a small lump and chewed. This process is known as rumination. And the chewed food then passes into a sac-like structure between the small intestine and large intestine, and the cellulose in the grass is digested with the help of some bacteria that we have discussed. Okay, it is cellulose bacteria. Okay students, thank you for watching this video, and in our next video we'll discuss the next chapter, and that is fiber to fabric, chapter number 3. Thank you and take care of yourself. Bye.